Hmm? Although it says tape number 2 on this Strye family series, it's actually tape number 3. Tape number A1 is first, 1 is second, and this is the third. This is all we have of our old movies. Here we have
This is Randy.
Randy as he was a little boy. We're over on, I believe we'd be on, I can't see where we're at as yet.
That's my mother.
It appears it might be the cottage over
Randy
in
was
Canada.
9 months old there.
This, I won't make an apology, but after this tape, we went into 35 millimeter still films. Forget what you call them. Slides.
This is August the 10th, 1955, at our 15th wedding anniversary.
We're at.
And we're at the camp up in northern Michigan. There's Ronnie and Jeff, and that would be Randy and Mother behind.
That's Jeff Knopf's. That's Ronnie's cousin. Randy in the back there on the grass. We're up in northern Michigan at Camp Helena for our 15th wedding anniversary.
See, Randy, I told you scooted. You never did get up on your knees and really crawled. You just scooted.
Beautiful baby. Nice blonde hair. It's the reason those two never fought.
What, the age difference?
Well,
Oh, Randy and Rod never fought either.
well, it's quite an age difference there, too. That's Grandma's nightgowns. In the evening, up north, it gets real chilly.
This would be the kitchen window.
That's Joy.
It's a Sunday, and we had come from going to see the grotto that Mother had made, or had sent to Italy. Mother and Dad had sent to Italy for when she prayed to St. Teresa, and I could walk after the polio. There we are at the grotto. That grotto is still up at the church in
Little Lake.
Little
Gwyn,
in
Michigan. That's our little Randy. I don't believe we have any movie pictures of Rod.
Well, Rod isn't born yet.
No, what I mean on these tapes.
Yes, we do at Christmas time. We have some real nice ones.
A
Christmas.
Rod?
Mm-hmm. All the boys really loved the camp. What highway is that again? I've forgotten.
35 going to Marquette. We must be back in the, that's Grandpa Tony and Randy. Grandpa Tony's my father.
This is Thanksgiving, 1955. Bye-bye.
Is that our car?
I can't see it.
Looks like it's blue and white. Best car we ever had.
Now, this was a lot in Bloomfield Hills. that we had purchased in order to build. But then your dad found another house partially built, which he decided to buy.
But we did have a well drilled on it. It's well drilling equipment. I said dirt was cheap. We spent about $5,000 for dirt trying to bring this thing up. That's, what road is that right there?
It's at East Long Lake and Adams.
Area. This is Thanksgiving
Bloomfield Hills.
with all that snow.
Now, this is Christmas 1955. That's Elaine Strye, Jiggy's wife, Jiggy's daughter, I'm sorry. And there's Barbara, and there's Randy, and that would be Roger. It's at our house.
They're all Stryes also. Eileen.
Elaine. There's Ronnie.
That's 55.
Mm-hmm.
We're married 15 years there.
1955, Christmas.
You must be about 32. Yeah, 32. You were born in 23.
There's Marge Strye, Jiggy's wife, myself, and Raj. And that's Grandma Frankie.
These pictures, quality isn't good, but that's because the pictures are so old. These pictures right at the, oh, that's Sandy. What occasion is this?
Christmas. Grandpa Frankie.
Grandpa Tony.
That's little Andrew.
Thomas L.
Andy and Pearls. That's Renee with Big Andy.
See, all these kids are in their 30s now also.
Like there's Pearl.
Thomas L. Hey, everybody there is gone. Andy Pearl, Ma Frankie, Dad Strye, and Paul Frankie.
This would have been at my mother's house on Outer Drive. We spent maybe about a year there after we sold our house on Severn Road while our other house was being built out in Bloomfield Hills. This was in her Outer Drive home upstairs, and Loie was downstairs. And look at him walking around. He would have been about 13 months old there. He's trying to get away from the lights. There's Ronnie.
He's a big boy now. Months. We'll see. Be 9 years old. What is this? What year?
Yeah, it would be 1955.
Easter?
This would be Easter of 1956. And it's at the Outer Drive house.
Same outfit?
Well, this must have been Easter then, not Christmas.
What was?
This day. He wants to go bye-bye.
What year is this?
See the Satsuma urn boys in the back? This would be Easter 1956.
56. Boy. I was 36 years old. It's too bad that the quality's bad. There's nobody else there. This could have been Easter.
It is Easter.
Well, I mean, the other picture, he said was Christmas. Could have been Christmas.
With little Andy and Grandpa Frank, and then it was Christmas. Ooh, that's good. That's one thing. Rob and I have been very fortunate. There's never been any jealousy amongst our boys.
Ronnie's godfather, Alphonse Gagner, Shirley Gagner in the back there at the cottage in Canada.
In 1956.
This is Randy.
And there's Rip. Now this would probably be, well, it is 1956.
Summer, spring. Opening up the cottage.
That's Rip Eisenhower Strye.
He sure loved Randy.
Well, he was a good dog. We had him almost 13 years, and then we had to have him put to sleep because he got arthritis in his hip.
Oh, we didn't get him until, what was that?
Looks like Jeff and Ronnie in front of the cottage, August the 3rd, 1958.
Dog actually watched over the kids when they were swimming. 58. Oh, let's see, Ronnie's 12 now.
Yeah. This is when my...
No, he's 11, going to be 12.
He would have been 12 October the 1st.
Yeah,
and
this is in the summertime.
This was when my dad went up to northern Michigan and wanted Ron to go along, and I wouldn't let him go along. And I always regretted it because my dad died October the 21st of this same year, and Ron would have at least had a couple weeks with my dad alone. Between the swimming pool in Bloomfield and the cottage, all the boys learned to swim real well. They weren't afraid of the water at all.
Picture's clearing up a little bit. That's the guard dog there. There's Ronnie on his inner tubes. Guess we only had about 5 or 6 inner tubes like that, all written up. Or was that Ronnie's personal inner tube?
They all had their own. That had to be Ron's.
Not quite 12 years old there.
Jeff's a couple years younger than Ron. That's Pearl and little Andy, Thomas Al. Little Andy and Ron were friends all their lives, as their dads were.
He just went by. This is a net that you just walk out into the water and you catch fish as you're walking along.
This is our 18th wedding anniversary, August the 10th, 1958.
Well, he is 12 years old here.
Not yet.
Huh? He's 12 years old here.
August the 10th.
He's 11?
Mm-hmm.
Catching fish. I actually caught fish like that. They weren't big, but you catch them like that. It was a lot of fun. That's little Renee.
Pearl and Andy and Rob and I were very close and just about did everything together for, well, 46 years with the 4 of us and 47 years with the 3 of us. Well, all the time that they were alive. We miss them very much.
Yeah. Ronnie was born to be a fisherman.
Turn around, Pearl.
That streak is on a lens. That was a hair or something. Could have been on there all summer long. Kind of hard to pose for movies. You don't know what to do if you're not a professional actor. There's Big Andy. Isn't that Big Andy with the hat on?
Uh-huh. That's the extent of his swim.
He didn't like water too much. Yeah, handsome boy. Pearl's gonna act. Let's see, how old am I here?
58. This is hunting.
This is up slides that we had stuck in here from the camp up in northern Michigan, up at Camp Polina. This is not the main, this was the back cottage. This is George Topke, a friend of mine.
That's Al.
Oh, that's Al Bailiff.
November 1958.
Al Bailiff. He didn't really catch that deer. His Uncle Russ, he got the deer. Uncle Russ is on the left, and George Topke in the middle, and Al Bailiff on the right. Uncle Russ was, that's myself and George. George was a customer friend of mine when I was in the pattern business. Al was a customer friend of mine also. And they all loved Uncle Russ. That's Russ's deer.
Al later became your partner.
That's Al.
Mm-hmm.
He was my partner in the tool business. These pictures are being shown right now as we're talking. Uncle Russ is in his 80s now, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. He lives in California.
Well, I guess everybody's. George must be in his 60s.
Al is dead.
Al's gone. He'd be in the 60s also. Uncle Russ lives out in California at the time of this narration. These are all slides that I had that year. But the video man said he could stick them into this tape, so I had him do it. They actually got into the group by mistake, but he said he could stick them on, so fine.
We could have your other tapes done like this, couldn't we?
If I could find them.
Huh?
All, not tapes, all the slides.
Uh-huh.
This is in the
Main camp.
main cottage.
Who was that?
That was Grandpa Tony in the background cooking.
This is the first Christmas
That's
after
Joni.
my dad died,
Is that Joni right back there?
and we wanted to make a special family get together so that Mother, and we knew how hard it was going to be on Mother.
It's Lee. There's
And
Lee
it's all the Knopf's family, and Mother, and Ron, and Ran, and Robert, and Christmas 1958. There's Frank,
and Joni and Lee.
and Joni, and Lee, and
Stephen.
Robbie.
Is that Stevie
and,
or Robbie?
There's Lee, and Ron, and Randy, I'm sorry, and Crystal, and Joni next to Mother, and then baby Crystal, and Jeffrey. This is Christmas 1958, and it was difficult for all of us
Well,
because
that
it
wasn't
was the
Stephen,
first
that
Christmas
was Robbie.
without my dad.
That was Robbie then, eh?
Robbie, then not
Yeah.
Stephen. Stephen wasn't born yet.
That's Frank.
You try to go fast because the movies are going so fast and it's off so suddenly that.
There he is.
That's Rob. Uh-huh.
That must be baby Crystal.
Yes, uh-huh.
Broken arm.
I guess so. I don't remember from what.
There was 3 crystals in that picture, and we now have a 4th crystal in the family. Rod's little baby, Crystal.
She was born December the 29th, 1987. Crystal Marie Strye.
No movies of her. Do we have any movies of Rod?
That's Kathy there. That's who that is there, Kathy. Mother with all of her grandchildren. This would be in our basement on in Bloomfield Hills on Thetford.
Well, it was a rec room. There's Joni.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty girly.
Oh, beautiful. Inside and out.
Beautiful girl, too.
We're trying to put on an act to make Mother happy. That's her luggage for her going back and forth to Arizona.
That was Lee.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Joni, Robbie.
My dad had just been dead a couple months by then. It was difficult for everyone.
Yeah, just about 2 months.
Hmm. Now this is Christmas of 1959. There's Randy and Ronnie, and pretty soon we'll have Roddy. Roddy would have been born then September the
real rifle.
16th, 1959.
That's a real rifle. That was Ronnie's 30-30. 59?
Mm-hmm.
He's only 13 years old. Did he play the guitar?
Sure.
Must have been the same sled in every Christmas picture.
He's more than 13. He's about 16.
59, you said.
Yeah.
He was born in 46.
Yeah.
You take 46
Well, it would be
off
the
of
year after
59.
my dad died, yeah.
It's
I go
13.
everything by that. Yeah, it would
That's
be
the same year he died,
it's a
isn't it?
13. No, this is 59. My dad died in 58. There's Ron's train set now.
Got a little bigger by now.
Ron looks like he's 16. He didn't change much from the time he was 13, I guess.
No, we got a lot of 35 millimeter pictures of Rod, but who's that?
That's Randy.
What do he have on his face?
A mask. That I think it was Ronnie's.
Oxygen mask?
I think it was Ronnie's Bell helmet. Remember, he had a motor scooter.
Oh.
There's Grandpa Frankie.
What year is this?
1959. Now, Grandpa and Grandma Frankie were just like our in-laws or parents, because, and the children's grandparents, because there's Ma.
We called her Ma. Her name was Helen. I was a very close friend of her boy. Her boy's name was Gunther. I called him Gunner. He's also gone. But they more or less adopted us as their kids because they didn't see Gunner and his wife June too much. Oh, I'm fat there already.
There's our new guy. There's my mother. And there's Roderick. He'd be about 3 months old there. Now we are really blessed. We have our 3 sons.
Hasn't changed much. This is 59?
Mm-hmm. Now, this is July of 1960. There's Roddy. Hi, sweetie. There's Randy, and this would be 2780 Thedford Road in Bloomfield Hills. And was that, I didn't catch who was that other one was that
Jeffy.
Jeff? There's Ron coming in with his motor scooter.
Jeff was older. And
There they boys are by the pool. Look at the little fish. That's Randy. All the boys swam like fish.
how old was Randy there?
Well, he would have been
What year is this?
1960, so he would have been 6 years old.
Well, The fence was put up there for Randy when we moved it into the house. To circle, the first fence was there by the house.
Now this is Randy's 6th birthday party, November 26, 1960. So Randy would have still been 5 in the summer. There's Randy and his friends. There's Rod. And I believe either Robbie or... Is that Robbie holding him? Looks like Robbie. Yeah, that's Robbie holding... Joni's boy, Robbie, holding him.
Randy, and who's that, Matt or somebody?
There's his boyfriends from around the house. That would have been Matt Weil there. And that,
I don't remember his kids.
that would be Joni. Come on, turn around. Come on. She had her hair in curls and she didn't like Robert to take her picture. There he is. Oh my. There's our beautiful baby, my sunshine child. Oh.
How old is he there?
He would have been
What
a year and 2 months. Yeah, about 14 months old. There's Robbie and Randy and well, now we have double exposure, huh?
Well, the photographer wasn't the best in the world. Robbie.
I think that's Matt Wild, Randy's close friend. That other boy. But I don't know some of the others. I've forgotten their names. They were neighborhood and school friends.
Dancing or something. Doing a Greek dance.
I think this is coming up next. Unless I put it down here. Let's see, we'll see.
This particular tape is a hodgepodge. It's got still slides and poor film grade. But we wanted to have everything we could for our kids. There's Ronnie with his original hand behind him.
This is Christmas 1960. There's Roddy, Randy, Robert. This is still in Bloomfield Hills.
Rod's 14.
Now we
Ronnie's 14.
Now the basement was made into a rec room. It was all paneled and a bedroom put down there and another a bathroom put down there. It was beautiful. Lee and Dyron Nathan did the work. Lee Golombisky, Joni's husband.
Electrician's kid.
He hasn't changed. Jack of all trades.
Why do you think that the pictures would have been better as we got older?
Well, color wasn't that good yet. The black and whites come out better than what the colors were. And this is done, without that great a light.
Yeah, when the Christmas tree lights show through, you don't have too much light because the spotlight would overpower it.
There's a sweetheart. Come on, boys, all stand together for once. Randy's cowboy pajamas. Did he like those? I had a hard time getting him off him to wash them and put them back on again.
Well, the rocket's on that train right there. Today we're going to pick up Ronnie at the airport. He's coming in from Arizona.
Boom.
What is this?
The bar.
Oh. Imagine Ronnie is the only one I can remember this bar. Randy's got a fantastic memory. He probably can remember it.
That's your, Randy got a set of drums.
Randy?
Uh-huh.
Where's the drums? Cash register. It's probably yours. Oh.
What beautiful sons and children they are. And still are. Look at those big blue eyes. He had such beautiful long eyelashes. They just didn't seem real.
Well, we had these home movies put on video so that our boys could enjoy them. Quality may not be good, but the thought is there and everything else that goes with it, and the love. When you make a home movies, you gotta have something that's moving.
The hours and hours of work and time that were put in there.
There's Ronnie's pheasant, Ronnie's duck.
He shot those, didn't he? And you had him stuffed for him? Or was it just the pheasant he shot?
It's part of the back bar. Pretty elaborate bar. See, we even take a dummy, so somebody had, I think Randy remembers this real well.
There's Roderick.
It's out in the backyard. The boys put up a tent. Probably Randy put it up. Yeah, there he is.
This is around 1962.
Randy's gonna water the new trees, I guess. This is our front lawn looking out onto Thetford. Randy always helped around the house.
All the boys did. Ron cut the grass.
That's what I think. That's the birch tree that Randy's planning on watering right there.
Those trees right now, it looks like a jungle around there. There he is. It's amazing to see their hair so blonde and see how dark they are now. Oop.
That didn't bother him. He was tough. Yeah, it's watering birch trees. What's he got? Roderick
This would
and
be
his-
the winter of 64.
64.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, Ronnie's pretty old by now, eh?
Ronnie had graduated from high school. He probably was at college. Probably out at Northwood.
His famous guard dog. He's inside the fence, though.
That's Randy and his friend Matt Wild. It's the back of the house.
Randy looks like he's getting pretty old here.
Well, he would have been about 10. It's Matt and Randy and Rip and Roddy.
This is the back of the the Thetford house. Each boy was born in a different city. Roderick was born in Bloomfield, and Randy in Grosse Pointe, and Ronnie in Detroit. That's our cabana. Father Hurley, dear friend of ours from Mother's St. Matthew's, Mother's Church.
Guardian Angel. He's now in Chicago, and we still correspond with him. This is going up. This is Easter of 1964. I think we went to Chicago to visit him. He was in Chicago at that time too.
Here we're going up to the cottage. Look at dude. '64. Ronnie's only 18 there.
There's our friend Gloria, my girlfriend from school days, Gloria Delaire, and her father, Nick Kapinski. That was Joe,
Joe DeMars.
and this is August of 1964 in Denver, Colorado.
64. I'm married 24 years here. There's Joe. He had, what do you have?
A stroke.
Stroke. Nick, he's still percolating. Randy and his telescope, eh? Trying to recognize the car. What year is this?
I am not sure, but it must be around 64. There's Roddy. Must be on a Sunday that we came from Mass
This
or
is
something.
Easter.
Easter of 64? Could be.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
64.
There's Rip. Roderick Evans Strye, Randall Elliott Strye, Rip Eisenhower Strye, Ronald Emerson Strye, Robert Edward Strye.
What year?
64. This is our backyard.
Randy and Ronnie would remember this.
It's the only time we had a cat.
Here's our box
He
tree.
was an outside cat.
This is
This
Easter
is
time.
this is Robert Kennedy. This is just
That's
a film.
John F. Kennedy.
That's Robert Kennedy, isn't it?
No, Robert's his brother.
Oh yes, that's right.
This was the president,
That's
John
right.
F. Kennedy.
How time
Jackie
changes
Kennedy.
your mind. These are just. This is a tape that
What do
we
you mean?
purchased
This is
in
part-
Washington.
It's part of the family. What's the little girl's name? Forgot that already.
Carolyn.
Yeah, Carolyn. And John was a little boy. There's Johnson, a Vice President Johnson at the time. His back hurts like mine. And they were just like any other family. There's John now. Carolyn.
Their home movies aren't much different than ours.
Washington Monument, Washington, D.C. Some Highland band. Isn't that cute?
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Kennedy, John Kennedy. I think that was Mr. and Mrs. Johnson behind them. No, Johnson wasn't with them. He was in Washington at the time. No, he was with him. He was with him because then Jackie went on to. He was on the plane when he was. They just got shot here. When they swore Johnson in, Jackie was there on the way back to Washington, up in the plane. That's Oswald, Lee Oswald, and the detectives down in Dallas, Texas. That's the gun that shot Kennedy.
This was being televised, and Randy and I were sitting in our den and saw this.
Oswald just got shot by Jack Ruby. The detectives wrestled him to the ground. Pandemonium broke out. This is his funeral. There's Robert Kennedy on the left. There's Jackie with his two kids, her kids, Carolyn and John. Her name was Jacqueline Bouvier. She's still alive. John Kennedy's 75 years old if he was alive. This is in the rotunda of the Capitol building in Washington. She's saying her last goodbyes. There was an honor guard of all the services around him. There's the people marching by to see his coffin. That's all that was left. This is representatives of all the services: Air Corps, Navy, Marines, Army, Coast Guard. It's the streets of Washington lined up with the people of America. That's little John saluting the coffin. Flag at half-mast. This would be at the cemetery. That's Johnson. Vice President Johnson at the time, when as Charles de Gaulle, French president.
Haile Selassie there, too.
Now she just lit the eternal flame. The flame is still burning today. That was in 64?
That would have been 62.
62?
November 62.
26 years ago? Well, this isn't. It's November? 26 years ago this winter. Son of a gun. I want people to think that was my film. There's my boy. Randy.
Now this is Christmas, somehow or another, of 1960.
Somehow,
I
right?
have 1963 down, but I don't remember. Ron looks about 16 here.
Well, he gave Randy another train. Originally, it was Ronnie's train set, and he started giving it to Randy. So he wrapped them all in newspaper. See how happy Randy is? Yep. Randy's a good engineer. Now he's got one for his little boys, the same size as Rod is there. I don't know, see, he's got his skis.
Then he would have been about 16. Yeah.
When he got those skis?
Yeah, those are his.
He was 16. What does that make Rod?
Rod is 13 years younger.
Rod's 3 years old.
And Randy's 8 years younger. Oh, Sniffy the Snooper. Yes, this would be Christmas of 63.
Well, that's in the right sequence then.
We had 60.
Kennedy was shot in 62, you said.
But we had some Easter of 64 and that in before. So it's just a little bit mixed up.
Oh, well, there's a nice Mexican hat on the wall.
A crazy hairdo. That was his style then. Real bouffant.
Sixty.
3.
63?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. 30. 63?
We'd been married 23 years there. Rob made that shelf there that was on the wall. That chain around Randy's neck, the boys always wore.
This is Bob Gillespie and his little boy. We're up at the cottage in our Jeep that was handed down from Grandpa Gunner to myself. And now at the present time, Rod has it. This is Camp Retnog. This is the camp that we bought from Uncle Matt. You've seen him in a previous picture.
It's 1965.
That's Uncle Chester, our beloved Uncle Chester.
It's 1965 here.
And here's Porky Strye. At the moment, that's 23 years ago. See, I had a belly then. I probably weighed more then than I do now. Uncle Chest, little bug in the back there. That's Camp Retnog. Now that's different from the other. This is the one that Randy probably remembers more than he does Camp Helena. Randy.
Well, this would be the camp that Rod and Randy remembered, whereas Ron would be my dad's camp.
There's
Camp
Uncle
Retnog.
Chester.
This is Retnog. No, Camp Helena is the one that was my dad's. Yeah,
This
that's
is
right.
Retnog, yeah. Back at the swimming pool. The processor who put this all together really didn't know. He tried to work the best he could. That's Randy filling the pool for Rod. That's Rod. Randy filled that little boat all by hand so Rod could be in it. Oh, we're gonna give the dog a bath now.
We spent many enjoyable hours in that pool. Rob had it built in 1959 when I was carrying Roddy. So that would help me with getting my legs back in shape from the polio.
This was, we had the first fence put in there for Randy because he was just a little baby.
That's right. The boys were they loved the board, they swam. This is April of 1966, Cypress Gardens with Helen and Joe Pickens and Robert and I down in Florida.
Joe was a neighbor of ours in Bloomfield, a friend. Helen and Joe, I mean, were our friends. This is the way the bells roam around. These are cypress and trees. There's that crazy hair on the lens. I would presume we're out a boat. Beautiful gardens. We were there with Joe and Helen Pickens, and then we were there with Bailiff, Al Bailiff, and what was his first wife? Second wife? Marge Bailiff.
Years before in 54. This is 66.
How'd you know? Says so. Here's these people on skis. There's men and women. Cypress Gardens is something for everybody to see. People from all over the world come over here just to see this water show. Here it goes up the ramp and back down. Still on the skis. This is really fat right here. Two of them up. Three of them. Turn around. Look at that how they end up. And there's Helen. Joe to her left, our right. And Joy. I was there, but I was behind the camera. Watch this stunt. Was it beautiful? That's something.
Not for the timid.
Watch this. It goes right up there and drops it. This is one of those porpoise.
This is our little grandson, Billy, and his mother, Brooke, on his first birthday, December the 11th, 1966.
He was born in 65.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful boy.
He still is.
Beautiful mother.
Brooke has since passed away also. Brooke Darling Strye. Brooke Darling
Strye.
Raymond Strye. I should put that right.
Ronnie's wife. At the time. Billy's mother. Looks like Ronnie's house in the background.
It is.
So he must have taken the pictures.
Doesn't matter. Our little great-grandchild, Julie's baby, his sister, Billy's sister, Julie, her little baby, Scott, looks so much like this picture of Billy. There's Randy. Let's see. Oh, that went so fast I couldn't catch it. Oh, that's Robert Strye. Myself. And,
What is this?
can't make them out. It would have been probably Brooke's grandparents were there, I noticed. And that would be Brooke's, that would be Dave Raymond's father, I believe.
Billy's first birthday.
Maybe Ron's taking the picture.
Ronnie is.
Isn't that him sitting there? There's Ronnie, yeah.
Well, he and I would
Yeah,
take it.
uh-huh. And that's Brooks. Oh, it was Dave Raymond and Robin and Dave's mother and dad.
What year is this?
1965. 66, I'm sorry. December the 11th, 1966. He was born in
Randy.
65.
Who's that?
Dave's mother, Carrie.
Dave.
Ooh, that's good. That looks like Rod sitting on my lap there. That is Rod. This would be Disneyland, March 1967. There's Rod and Randy.
'67. 21 years ago? think Randy can remember this.
Well, Rod could too.
No,
He's old enough.
I don't remember too much stuff. Before Carol.
This would have been Carol.
What year?
67,
And what year did we move to Carol?
1956.
69.
Oh, moved to Carol. Oh, I thought you meant Bedford.
Storybook land. There's Randy.
Randy and Rod right there.
This photographer must be in the water.
There's Roddy, the back of Roddy's head. There, the guys are out for a drive. He didn't want to stop.
It's a submarine. They actually went down underwater. That. Only I think it rides around like that. I think the people go underwater and look out through portholes. This was the boys riding around on these little cars. We're either running fast or else we're in the car. Maybe we're on the overhead car, trolley up in the air. I think that's what it is. Those trolleys, those trams, cable cars. See how we're looking down at everything? Because we're still in Disneyland. That's cable cars. That's what you always like to go in. Almost looks like double exposure again.
Yeah.
I must have done that a lot of times with that movie camera. This is
Disneyland yet with the double exposure.
Keystone movie camera that we bought prior to Ronnie's birth. Bought the movie camera and the projector. Oh, there's a cable car just went by. Oh boy. There's Randy. There's Randy again there, you can see him. Casey. Must be a train. There's the boys. That's up in the treehouse. That's Tom Sawyer's or one of these guys.
There's Roddy.
Rod. Is that Rod?
Uh-huh.
This is the Knott's Berry Farm now. I recognize this. Who's that guy climbing up there? Looks like Rod.
Yeah.
There's Randy in his famous Indian jacket.
and his Ishkabibble hairdo. That was all mod right then. Randy was just getting conscious of the mod age.
Yeah, they're even making me dizzy. I recognize you.
This is in front of the Thedford house at 2780 Thedford, Bloomfield Hills, in the winter of 1966, 1967. The boys used to have a lot of fun on that hill.
It was all ice that day. Ice on top of the snow.
During the, how many years do we live on
13,
Thedford? 13 years we lived on Thedford. We had a couple cars go down that hill, too.
It's the street down there.
But it was a beautiful view from out the kitchen window or the dining room window or Ron's bedroom. That's Roddy. Oh, that's Randy. They played together with the greatest of friends all their life. I hope it was always like that.
So they're sliding down the ice coat.
Footprints in the snow. Our babies. There's Rip yet.
Driveway.
See how old he's getting now? He's having a hard time of it. He used to sit on that hill and wait for Ron to come home from school. And he'd sit there as long as the afternoon. He'd know just about the time that the bus would be coming by, and he'd come and sit and wait for Ron to be dropped off. Or if Ron were going into Birmingham, he'd tell the dog to sit and wait because he'd want to follow him, and the dog would sit there for hours until Ron came back. Or else you'd ask Rip, "Where's Ronnie?" And he'd just go crazy running around the house trying to look for him. It was cold that day. This is the front of the house. There was a circle drive there that went around the house. A side drive and then a circle drive, but in the winter we just plowed out the side drive. This would be Christmas of 1967, 68.
That looks like Billy.
This is Billy, our grandson Billy, our first grandson, first grandchild. He's now 22. Nice baby. Oh, he hasn't changed too much. He looks just like that.
He's a little bigger.
Just a little bit.
That's 20 years ago?
Yeah.
21 years ago.
20 was 67.
Can't be 22 years ago. He's only 22 now.
21, yeah. Yeah. The old Tonka truck. Where's that Jeep that looks like it? Oh, it's a truck.
no matter how bad the film are, we didn't want anything destroyed. It's being Ronnie's house.
Mm-hmm. In Birmingham. I think the name was Radnor on Radnor Street. I'm not positive any longer.
I almost said Ruffin, but that sounds more like Randy's. Where's Randy live on? Wasn't Radnor? Doesn't.
Could have been Ruffin. It sounds like it. I don't know. Was it right in Birmingham proper?
Or was it in that new house he bought?
Sterling Heights. Sterling Heights in 18 Mile Road. No, Billy was older than that then. There's Ron and Brooke and myself. There's Randy and Brooke and Ronnie and me. They're so dark, that's a shame.
Must be some cheap Japanese film. Paddle wheel? This is back at Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's repanned for gold.
So it's not in the proper place, and this would be in 67. Yeah, it's the same.
Well, we'll have hot shot.
There's
That's
Randy.
a big shot.
Boys really had a nice time that trip that we took out west. That one was without Ronnie. The last trip we had with Ronnie was when he's 16, when we went to Washington to visit Kennedy's grave, and I believe those were in slides.
I don't think his 16 is graduation party to Washington. His schoolmates were there. He went with us. When Kennedy was shot in 62, you say? 46, 62. Hmm, 16. Can't figure out what this is. It seems like it's out in Arizona.
Oh, there's Mother. That's when we're getting off the plane. She's meeting us at the plane. There must have been more than Mother there at the plane. My sister Lois could have been there, and maybe Paul and Mark. I don't know. It went too fast to see it.
Cowboy Randy. Now he's starting to show off.
Oh, that's at your tree farm.
That's Billy.
Mm-hmm. Billy and Roddy. It's up north. Randy. That must be Brooke there. Oh, this is our house on Thedford in 1970.
No.
In Carroll on Burnside. Billy.
See all the patches on the
And
walls.
Rod.
That's where we renovated that house.
Yeah. This is in 604 West Burnside, Carroll, Michigan. We moved up here in July of 1969, and we bought this house. It was a big, beautiful 100-year-old home, and we started from scratch and renovated every room.
That's Randy's old cradle.
This would be in 1970. There's the grandfather clock that will be Rod's if something happens to us.
70, we moved in 69.
There's Billy.
Why wouldn't it be 69?
There's Roddy. And Billy's over in the chair there. This is in the living room of the house.
They got a different camera. I also took these pictures for insurance purposes. Mother's organ and her spittoon. That we just panning the whole place for insurance purposes.
This is the dining room. These rooms we had renovated by now.
So it must be 70.
We had those cushions all reupholstered, had them done down in Birmingham area. That's a music box that Rob had given me. There's Roddy and Ruffles, and this is in the kitchen. There's Billy. That would be, looks like it would be like just around Christmas, 1970. That's the bathroom, the downstairs small bathroom.
Still panning the house for insurance reasons.
This is the den, which would have been like the courting parlor originally as original.
Kids seen
original
that
home.
picture before. Kids seen that picture. What's it say?
Christmas greetings.
Oh, it's Christmas. I didn't see a Christmas tree.
Now this is Rod's first drive, summer of 1973.
Rod or Randy?
Well, there's Rod and Randy.
Randy's first. Up at Camp Retnog. Call that the bomb shelter where that wood was piled. This is the kitchen room. See the bomb shelter behind there? This pan in that place. Couple of movie actors, that's what they were.
They should have been. They're beautiful enough.
I know Randy remembers this well because he he's shooting looks like a 12-gauge shotgun. Or it might have been the 410 over and under. Let's see. see. 280. There's Randy with that big gun.
He's back home again. The dining room. And this would have been,
I think it's a continuation of another one that we had.
it would be around Christmas holidays because Billy would come and spend the Christmas holidays with us. Would be 1970.
18 years ago. Then the boy, Billy's 4 years older. That's the living room. They still haven't got that wall patched. That's Uncle Chet. He made the saw rig. He sawed about 15,000 cords of wood with it. There's going to be Randy.
This is 1975.
He's taking Billy for a ride. Pan in the cottage, you could camp again. Randy showing off his.
That's Roddy and Randy. And who is in the back there? Oh, that's Randy's friend, Mike Wagner. That's who it is. Randy's boyfriend from Carol, Mike Wagner. Now Rod drives, huh? Go do it, boy. And this first drive with Dad, I have that down as summer of 1973, not 75.
'73. How old is he there?
He's born in 59, so... Oh, look at the little chickadee.
Rod's 14 there? No, he isn't 14. He has, well, it's in the summertime, he's not 14. He's only 13.
This one is the deer season, 1975.
I think Randy and I were up there alone, closing up.
I believe Rod went with you.
Oh, there's Randy. No, Randy and me. We're moving stuff out. That's the old truck. That's the bathroom we built on.
It's beautiful in the winter months with the snow like that.
Taking the last pad of the acreage before we left. There's a flagpole that Randy and Rod put up. This was a goodbye to the camp. We're driving out now. Or driving in, one or two. drive in. There's all these different signs on each side of the road telling you to stop, and rifle range ahead, and all things that Uncle Matt had put up. It's I think the famous red flag that Uncle Jiggy stopped for.
Robert purchased this camp from Uncle Matt Gunter, who was my dad's brother. And Matt had this camp, and my dad had his camp, Camp Helena. And it was about 30 miles distance between the two. And they both would live there part of the year at each of their camps. And it was roughly about 30 miles from Escanaba, where they were born. Escanaba, Michigan.
Randy's taking this picture of me. Like a little chipmunk or something. So Randy and I are closing up for good. Chickadee.
That's Uncle Chet, looks like, isn't it?
Me?
You.
Just Randy and I are there alone. But who's taking the picture? Uncle Chet's got to be there someplace. Someone took this picture.
You look slimmer again there.
Mustache. Or someone had to take that picture.
Here's Rod.
Rod was there. Didn't remember him going up there. But he's old enough there that he would remember it real well. Randy's first bottle of beer. We used that mailbox as soon as froze. That's Randy on the steps. Rod must be driving the truck.
Or the icicle.
Now, see, we're packing it. Well, that was Timber's cage.
Timber was a deer. Tame deer.
It's our generator.
That's your squirrel.
That was Randy's squirrel.
This would be the rotary train ride, July of 1980.
We're in Carroll, Michigan again. That was Maynard Ritter, who just went by, and he worked for the railroad here. He was the vice president or something. Gary Anderson and his wife. That's Jerry Bernhardt and his wife. Why can't I see these pictures? I can't see. Where are we at? Now, Maynard Ritter is the chairman of the board of that railroad company. I can't see who they are anymore. Looks like we're on our way to Vassar.
We have them redone for the boys. We should have this taken out. There's Claire Bagley.
Claire Bagley.
But I mean, we should take this out. There's Earl.
Earl.
Yeah.
It's our good friends, Earl and Clara. That was Art Ginrich, I think, that we just panned there. There we go.
Earl is passed on now.
Oh, I can't figure out who these guys are.
Oh, there's Wes.
Wes Frederick. That's the president of the bank right there.
Oh, Lyman Parker.
Yeah. He's a car salesman now. This was just an outing we had. This is all the Carroll Club and the Carroll Rotary Club and the wives. Is that Clara?
Uh-huh. Oh, this is Randy and Darla's wedding, May the 2nd, 1981. At Sacred Heart Church in Carroll.
The display with a beard and heavy. Down about 30 pounds from that picture. Says. So still the wedding party. Oh, that's one. What's this? Looks like a still picture.
Well, these are December 78th and January 1979, Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, that's Camelback in the back there. Camelback Mountain.
And wasn't this when you went to that beach with the boys?
I don't remember those.
That Black Beach that you went?
No, but I don't know.
Looks like Mark.
San Diego?
Yeah, it was California. You went to South California
San
together.
Diego. Huh. Forgot all about these.
There's Marky.
It's Mark on the right-hand side is the lemon tree. This is on Grandma's front lawn.
4309 Cali Redonda.
Here we got Paul Campbell, Mark Campbell in the back there, it looks like.
Yes.
That's the girl we took with us, I guess. I don't know who that is. That looks like me. This was over New Year's. We went to California, just the two boys and myself.
Mark and Paul Cam.
That's Lois. There he is. That's Mark.
Marky's a great surfer.
He surfed out in that water there on January 1st or 2nd.
Mark now lives in Australia.
This San Diego is a great naval base of all battleships and all types of boats in the harbor. I don't recognize that little boy on the back there either.
Paul lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico. These are the little children that you saw in the first reels.
I think that's a aircraft carrier or something. It looks like an island up there, and they call that an island. That's where
Mark is my godchild.
mine too. It's a freeway someplace. Or back there, the battleships.
We are having these videos redone for our three sons and their children and wives, for them to have just some memories of their childhood. We leave this to them with our love and thanks to God for having them.
This looks like Mark again.
We love them very much.
There's some more of San Diego, I think. This is a restaurant boat, really. It's docked permanently off on the docks in San Diego. Yeah, we hope the boys enjoy these pictures. Like I've said many times, the quality wasn't good, but the thoughts behind them. And some visual too, because you can still see a lot. Clear it up.
May Darla and Randy and Ron and Sharon and Rod and Susan find happiness all their lives. And have the joy in their children that we've had in ours.
That's the Pacific Ocean. That's Mark again. Mark was out on that surf. What year was these? Can't remember.
December 1978, January 1979. Phoenix, Arizona, and California.
San Diego. We went there because Mark wanted to ski over the New Year's holiday and
Ski.
water skiing.
He surfs.
Surf. Water surf. And Paul and I went along just to have some fun with him. We also, who took this picture?
Must have been Mark, because it's you and Mark, you and Paul.
Must be a still picture. These are all still pictures.
And you did have fun, because you laughed and laughed the whole trip there and all the way back.
See what it says? Danger, go back. We kept on going. There he is. I was wondering how we got these because I didn't remember taking a movie camera along with us. These are all 35 millimeter. This is in Ricky's.
In Tucson, at the air base.
Oh, is that me?
That's you and I and
Because there's Ricky.
That's
He's
Rick
a foot taller than me.
Joan and Loie. And
No.
is that Loie? Oh, that's her daughter. That's her. It's Rick and Joan and their children. That's Gloria and I.
This
My old school chum again.
still up in Phoenix.
That would be Rick and his family.
That's at the air base in Tucson. At Ricky's home, that's myself and Joy. Ricky's motorcycle.
It's Gloria and I and Robert. She's my old school friend from way back in Grosse Pointe when we
She's
went to
n-
grade school together.
She's not standing in a hole, she's just that short.
That's my sister Loie and Robert and Gloria
Me? Where's me?
in the middle.
Oh, looks like a ghost.
Gloria now lives in Sedona, Arizona. That's Loie and I and Gloria. This would be in front of Gloria's house in Phoenix.
North Phoenix. Yeah, it's Gloria's house. These are all still shots that the video man stuck on the end of this. I bet that if you turn the dials, you can darken these up.
Yeah, well, we can do it on our own machine.
So the reel 3, we don't have no reel 3.
No, well, we will when it takes slides. That's all, folks. For now, we will eventually take and have the slides done in video too for you.
And
we
we
send
love
our
you
love.
boys, we love all of you.
I wonder if we caught that or not.